All right. Um, I guess this one I'm going to talk about the bike ride around Wascana Lake. It's a bit late and it's a bit after we did it, but I do want to talk about it. I guess person gets bogged down in all of the work that needs to be done, and they sort of lose their track, if you will. As far as the bike ride's concerned, I was very hesitant going in. As you may know, I've had some pretty serious knee problems. I broke my kneecap, and it's caused me some consternation, I guess, in terms of physical exercise. It has a lot of pressure on the knees, and so I was a bit worried. On the other hand, it's one thing that I used to do a lot of, riding a bike, and so the idea of doing it again was appealing, and so I wanted to try it, and so I did. Now, I guess obviously I was sort of holding everybody up, and that my bike was a gigantic piece of crap, but I guess that's what you get when you buy something that somebody else put together. I would have been better off. I would have been better off buying one in pieces and putting it together myself. I should apologize for that snapping and cracking. That's the piping in my apartment here, and so fairly annoying, yes, but hey, whatever. It's cheap. Um, but anyways, yeah, there was parts of it I really liked, and I thought that the bird sanctuary was very interesting, and uh, it's good. I think it's a great idea to have that in the city. If I end up teaching in this city, or even in a rural school around this city, or even in another city near the city like Moose Jaw, or even Swift Current, things like that, they're not that far. Saskatoon's not that far, and I think it's definitely something I would like to show the kids, because I mean, where else are they going to be able to get quite that close to things like ducks and geese and so on and so forth? I mean, they know what they look like, but I mean, in terms of actually seeing some of the color features, like mallard ducks, male mallards are gorgeous birds, and I think for kids to be able to see them close up, not in a picture, is actually extremely useful. So I think that's one thing that I think I'm definitely going to try and work into a science class. Should I should I become a science teacher? I certainly hope I do, at least at some point. Um, yeah, I mean, in terms of other things, I didn't see the guy who apparently was belligerent at the idea that we would dare to play games in his park. I guess maybe I'm just being unnecessarily bitter, but it's like, what does it matter to him? I mean, I didn't see him, so I don't know exactly what he said, and so I don't know the exact circumstances. So, like I say, maybe I'm not being fair, but I just don't understand why anybody would bother coming up anyways. What's missing in your life that you have to come up and criticize other people for doing things? Um, but, c'est la vie. Um, I guess we went up to the park, kind of beside or adjacent to the science center after that, and we had some time to ourselves. And I just went down and stood by the lake for 20 minutes and just watched things take place. And it's something I've done a lot of. I am a scientist, and I am an ecologist primarily. My project had a lot to do with ecology, and in fact, it had a lot to do with wetland ecology. So it was almost kind of. I've spent a lot of the last 4 or 5 years of my life standing in riparian areas. I've had a lot of work to do, so to actually just sort of stand there and be able to appreciate what it offers is a beautiful moment for me. And nature is sort of my thing, and it's what I enjoy. And I mean, a lot of the things I do are nature related. In fact, a lot of the extracurricular, if you want to call it that, things I do are pretty much all related to nature. And so I personally enjoyed that part. But I think also I have to give a shout out to Jared and his showing us of the owl. And I know I should remember the owl's name, but I don't. But it doesn't matter. I mean, owls in nature don't have names, right? So, but what a beautiful animal. So nice to be able to get that close, to see and to touch. Even as a 31-year-old, to be able to, you know, go up and touch the owl was just it's a tactile experience that most people don't get, and so I mean that's a beautiful um, it's a beautiful thing to see, to feel, to touch, to be that connected with another animal, and it hopefully it gives people a I don't know, maybe a bit of a deeper understanding of what life is and how we're connected to life, because I think that's something that's lost, especially, and I don't want anybody to take offense to this, but especially to urban people. I grew up on a farm, I grew up around life, and I've been in close contact with all sorts of different life forms for my entire life, but I think urban people are losing that. And maybe that's a bit stereotypical, but I also think it's based on a level of truth, and people don't know what they're missing, and because life is beautiful, nature is beautiful, and the more of it you can see, the better. So, and the better you can understand it, the less we're bound to damage it if we can avoid it. I may not be the most environmental person on the planet, but I certainly don't go throwing garbage into wetlands, and I don't, you know, I do my best to keep the lands that are pristine as I can keep them, and if everybody did that, even, this world would be a better place. I guess we can always hope that it'll come to that at some point.